Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Thank you all for, sitting around waiting for a while. I figured I'd give you some background music while you wait. But we are, we're live now, a little bit early. And, it's been a while. It's been a month. And since I last saw you, I got sick. So, like, the weekend after the last stream, I caught COVID, and that sucked. So I was sick for a week, and it took me another week to recover. I didn't touch Reaper that entire week. I was playing 7 Days to Die, got totally addicted. I'm still pretty much addicted to it. I'm still playing basically every night. because I can control the infection in that game, but I can't control it in real life. But anyways, yeah. How are you doing? Good morning. So hopefully the audio is okay today. Let me get Reaper started up. Okay. Let's check that that's coming through. Yep, that's coming through. All right, so first question that I saw come in was here a second ago from Xander. The slider to move left and right on the recording screen needs to be bigger. How do I do that, please? I don't think that is something you can change. Oh, my camera's off. I'm pretty sure that you cannot change that. This slider, I mean, maybe customizing the theme, you can change it. I don't think you can. I haven't noticed any themes have a larger one, but I would recommend not using that slider at all and just navigate the session with shortcuts. Mouse wheel. So my default is shift mouse wheel for scroll horizontally reversed, but set it up however you like. You never really need to touch that slider to navigate the project. And one other option is to use the navigator from the view menu. And the navigator, this lets you go up and down tracks. And again, I think the mouse wheel works in this. This kind of still needs the same shortcuts for this, but you can drag this around. And if you have many tracks, you can just drag this up and down to go through tracks and left and right to navigate the session. I don't use this a lot, but there are certain times when there's maybe many hours of content that you need to be navigating through. And it gets easier with this because you can just click and jump to, you know, a different hour in your timeline. Very convenient. But as far as I know, you cannot change the actual scroll bar. All you can really do is stop using it. Hopefully that's still helpful. Not exactly what you were looking for, though. Okay, good. Good to know, Will. Have I checked the Russian video about Reaper? No, I skimmed through it. I didn't press play on it. And I noticed that there was a lot of, like, I don't know, low quality memes. And if it's all in Russian, I'm not going to be able to get any information from it. But yeah, if you don't know what he's talking about there, that's in the resources page on Discord. There's a link to Discord a few minutes ago in the chat. Any other like quick questions? Anything you've been working on? I'm going to bring up the previous project. I don't remember if this was before the previous stream or right after. There was one day I was supposed to go out with my wife and she got sick and just I wrote 2 songs that day while waiting for her. Let me play that. I don't really remember this. But yeah, let's play this and just to get started. I think I need to set up my my hardware effects first. Alesis preset 2. There we go. And what's the other one? Ambience preset. Okay. I think this was right now. All right, so this was, all the drums were programmed using the mix sequencer. Most of the bugs that we ran into in the previous stream have been fixed, so this worked great for me on this day. And then all the synths are from my Minilog XD. The reverb effects are my hardware effects. And nothing really too weird. Some of the drum sounds, like this this ping effect and others, that and this and this, all these drum sounds are actually from my Minilog as well, and this is a sample pack that you can download if you are a Patreon member or a channel member. There was a question. Do you know if you can have effects parameters in the MCP but not the TCP if TCP is showing inserts? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so if you go down to the bottom of your track control panel area, there is, oh, I thought there was a, maybe it's not actually there. Maybe it's only in the theme adjuster. I accidentally pressed the spacebar. There is a setting for show param. There is a setting for the mixer view. I thought there was one for the TCP, but it might only be in the theme adjuster, which isn't out yet still, but effects parameters section, you can enable that or disable that. So you would need the beta theme adjuster, at least for the Reaper 7 theme. But there is an option in the mixer to show to show the effects parameters here and not in the TCP. So what is that? Show effects parameters when size permits, that's called. And yeah, NAMM looked like a lot of fun, Jason. I've never been. I've only been to like one Canadian semi-equivalent thing. What was it called? MIAC, Music Industry Association, something in Canada, something like that. I don't know. And it was kind of meh, kind of interesting, kind of neat to meet some of the people, the different distributors and everything. But yeah, that was probably before I had kids, so quite a while ago. What are the best practices for setting up reference tracks, and could I use music from my iTunes library or a streaming service? You probably could. I don't know 100% how to do that. Generally, you want to have it set up so that the backing or the reference track is coming through Reaper, and you have a way of soloing that and then taking it out of solo and hearing your mix. So if we look in the project here, if I was to bring in a reference track, I'll just put in a new track, make that track number 1. I will mute it. I will go into the routing window here. I will uncheck master send, and I will put a hardware send out to main 1 and 2. So it's bypassing the master track, so don't need to worry about your reference track going through your master track effects. But if this track is soloed, you'll only hear this track, your reference file, and it will still go through your monitoring effects chain. So if you have any metering, loudness meter, stuff like that, it will still appear in there. But yeah, this is very important. Yeah, and if you don't mute it, you would hear it during your mix. So you want to make sure that it's muted and then soloed if you want to hear it. All right, so that's essentially it. You could have some way of getting audio out of iTunes, Apple Music. Let me think. That app only uses the system audio output. So whatever your default system audio output is, you would set that to black hole or loopback or other aggregate audio device, and then you could set the track to monitor input with some loopback device, like this one here, and just make sure that it's record enabled and monitoring, and that should come through, and then again, just solo it to hear it. So that would probably work. The other thing is you want to have your reference track at a similar LUFS value. So you don't want to hear, like, you want to hear it, obviously a mastered version, but you don't want to compete on the loudness. So you turn down the reference track by like 6 dB or something like that, so that it is comparable to the mixed level and you're not competing on the loudness. So unless you want to put on a master limiter on your mix and listen to it that way, but generally you just turn down the levels of the reference track by -6, even 12 dB, and then you can listen to your mix and not compete on the loudness, just EQ balance, just on the dynamics, things like that. Or not dynamics, vocal levels, the brightness of the snare, those sorts of things. What's the highest sample rate and bit depth Reaper can do? It's going to depend on your audio interface, but it can do any of that. So we go into project settings, and we can set the sample rate up to 192, and we can set the bit depth for recording. Here we can set this to 64-bit floating point. We can do some other weird formats like 2-bit CAD, PCM, 8-bit. But yeah, like 64-bit float is the highest quality setting. For most people, 24-bit PCM is fine. If you have a 32-bit audio, 32-bit float audio recorder, like the Zoom F3, or I think the F6 is also 32-bit. Zoom has a few other devices. I think Presonus recently put out one. But if it's 32-bit capable, you could put it to 32-bit floating point as your audio bit depth. But again, like, if you can set levels correctly without clipping, there's no point in doing that. This is just your audio recording levels. But the actual like mixing bit depth, the tracks, they're going to be 64-bit float by default, so you really can't clip any of the mixer channels. Hopefully that answers that. Right now I'm working on custom sounds for Windows that don't blast my ears every time I have a notification. Cool. Yeah, I usually just turn off all notification sounds. Sometimes it's useful. Do you not have a button to change the Alesis patch? I do, but it's also right here. I could send a program change to it, but I didn't for some reason. Let me just check that. I could. That's easy to add. Let's do what is it called? Read control MIDI. And we'll do my Alesis MIDI Verb 3 bank. Don't need this track. Put this before reinsert. And reinsert is sending MIDI. Yep. And I guess number 2. It didn't send. It's not responding. Oh, because it's on channel 1. Yeah, now it will change. Now it will keep the right preset. Is the audio glitching? I feel like I could hear glitching in that song. I don't know if it's just that song. My MIDI editor and arrange view are locked to each other for zooming in and out. How do I decouple them? Yeah, that is that's a setting that I definitely know how to change. That's not contents. It's options, sync edit, transport to project transport. I think that's the one. I might be wrong though. I think it's actually called something different. Yeah, the audio is definitely glitching. Piano roll time bass. I think you've got it on Project Synced. Hey, Vulture Culture. How's it going? 9:32. What were we talking about? I think I played the song back then, and I may have already answered your question there. FL Studio has a page dedicated to pro users of FL. Do you think Reaper should do the same? No. At one point I was like collecting a list of video games that use Reaper, and it ended up being like pretty much every game using it in some way. Like from Grand Theft Auto to, I don't know, pretty much everything you can think of. Whether it was used for like dialogue or sound effects or as a field recorder, like it was used for everything. So I don't know. I don't, it seems, I don't personally care what DAW people use. Like it's really just a tool or a toolbox and used for getting their creativity out. And I know that everyone's got a different brain and different priorities when it comes to creative tools. So yeah, I mean, whatever works. I'm gonna try changing the buffer size of this app. It's already the highest. All right, so hopefully you can still hear me, but the audio was glitching in my headphones. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe to help convince people to use Reaper, but I don't think it matters. Like, I don't know. Why sampler don't have time stretching? Why does the sampler not have time stretching? I mean, it kind of does if you set the mode. If you set the mode to note semitone shifted or freely configurable shifted, whatever key you play will be stretched across the keyboard, or the sample will be stretched across the keyboard. The original pitch is, I forget which one. Pitch start. I don't know. You click on detect pitch and you'll set it. But it doesn't have a way of decoupling the length of the note from the pitch of the note, if that's what you mean. Yeah, Reaper Tips is doing great work. Yeah, he's making awesome videos right now. It's good to see, because sometimes he disappears for months. But is there a way to export all the customization you've done on one computer to another? Yeah, I actually did a call with someone last night about that. So if we go into Reaper's preferences, no, not OBS preferences. Reaper preferences, there is an export button, export configuration. You can just select everything and export it that way. Personally, I just opened the folder. So show Reaper resource path and explore/finder. And then in here, this is everything that belongs to your Reaper install. Just select all, zip it, and bring it over to the other computer. That's what I do. There's certain things that aren't going to automatically transfer over, and you'll need to configure them for the other computer. But it's basically anywhere where your username would be different, or if there's a external hard drive that was being referenced. So path to save new projects, you know, if you're on Windows, you're going to have like C drive, D drive, E drive, and you'll need to change that. Path to store peak caches. If that temp folder that you've configured doesn't exist, then you'll need to make a new one using the browse button here. Same with the project page. If you have a default template, that should be still linked, but if your default template exists in some other folder other than Reaper's templates folder, then you'll need to link that. VST plugin folders. So this list may be different depending on the system. So you'll need to fix that. And then like when you render your project, the recent folders, things like that, your recent project list, this list is going to be wrong because it's importing it from a different computer. But maybe that doesn't matter. It's still going to be close enough. And once you get started, once you use those things once, it's going to be updated for this system. Can you load up multiple samples in one RS5K in one instance? Yes, you click on the list button and then you can import samples. This is used for, what's it used for? Trying to remember what this is used for. You can use it for some things in here. I'm trying to remember what you can use the list function for. I honestly can't remember what the list function is for. You can do some things with this, but not everything. Yeah, I totally forget what you can do with it. Let me find my synth drums or something. I'll bring this in. So if we are in the list view, okay, so the list view just updates this. So we've got two different files. All the other settings are going to be the same, so it's not really fully configurable. But if we go to list view and remove this, and then close list view, now it's showing the original folder. So you kind of have like a small list of different files, but you can't like trigger different sounds from them. It's not really meant to replace like Contact or anything like that. If you want to do different sounds for pitch, you need to set the pitch note start and end for each one individually in separate instances. If you want to do round robin, where it's playing a different, like a sort of a random sound for the same, a different sample for different velocities, or when it's the same velocity and you want it to change, you have to set the probability for each one individually and enable this round robin. And yeah, it's kind of annoying. I I've done a video about that. If you search the Reaper blog. Yeah, I have a video about using the round robin function. Read drum. I don't even remember what that is. I don't have a read drum. Is that a, maybe that's a script. No, I don't have that. And if you had problems with audio playback glitching, I used latency mon to uncover culprit. Yeah, that's one I would suggest doing. Use latency mon, figure out what's wrong. On Windows, it's usually some service, some Windows setting that you can change. That helps. But not having a proper audio interface makes a difference as well. There's another like built-in drum instrument with Reaper, ReaSynDr, but this thing's useless. I wouldn't worry about that one. UMC 1820, that's a Behringer. If you've got a ACO driver for that, I would make sure that there's no like other USB devices that would conflict with it. Sometimes Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, those sorts of things make a difference. Sometimes there's like antivirus, or there's sometimes the built-in audio device driver can conflict with things as well. But latency mon should show you what's going on. And especially if you play it under load, like play your Reaper project and look at that, maybe analyze it for 10 minutes. You can figure out what's going on. All right, let's since this came up, let's look at the ReaSynDr plugin. Comes with Reaper. There are different outputs. So there's playing C, D, E. It's a kick. Snare, I guess. I don't know. And it's kind of just repeated on different octaves. I think if you actually look in the MIDI editor, the, what do you call it? The key layout is there. Kick, snare, tick, blip. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound good. There's not much else to say about it. Like, I don't know. I don't know when that came out or why it exists, but it's been there since before I used Reaper, and I tried to understand it once. I think I made a video about it, but I've never touched it since. Even though I have a super fast audio latency, I notice MIDI CC seems sluggish. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, MIDI CC seems sluggish. I don't really know what you mean. Recording MIDI automation seems sluggish. I don't know. It could be that your controller doesn't have touch automation. So it's only writing while it's being moved. Could be that. And then the other thing is there isn't automatically, I think it's called reduce envelope points. Reduce envelope point data when recording or drawing automation. So maybe turning that off would make it seem like it's less sluggish. I don't know. Those are the two things that come to mind. What can I record automation with? I don't think the knobs on my Poly D actually output control changes. And my X Touch will be control surface, not MIDI. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll just turn this on. I will press plugin, boost. Let's go back to OBS. Add scene. Okay. What is that? Drive control? Dynamic? So the visual response to turning a knob on the controller is not feeling fluid like this is. Is that what you mean? Or just when it's writing automation? Let me set this to latch and I'll play. I'll zoom in. So I feel like this is like very fluid, very instantaneous. There might be a lag with this camera versus the screen versus GoPro, but that seems totally fine for me. I don't know. Just writing automation. Maybe it's more like the plugin window itself is lagging. Sometimes you get like a low frame rate during certain things. Like if an isotope plugin is open, often my arrange view is very sluggish. Like the edit cursor is going like 2 frames per second, but the audio is clean. I don't know. Question, is that a Behringer X Touch? Yes. My GoPro actually works today. I talked about it last week. Not last week. Last stream, about how this was my like worst gear purchase of the year. I still don't like the colors of it. I think it looks really ugly. One of my worst gear purchases of the past year. And just last week, or maybe it was even this week, I learned that there is a beta firmware that you can load onto the the camera, and then it gives you access to this QR code app that I never knew about. And with that, you can just point the camera at the QR code, and it will load various settings to the camera, and it makes it like, it gives you more functions that just aren't available in the menus. So, so I've got this set up as HDMI out, clean HDMI out. So I don't have to, what is it? Like when you first turn it on with HDMI out, this came up as a problem several times in, there was that one kitchen stream where I was doing sampling, and every time I would turn on the camera or switch to this camera, I would have to like blindly go through the menu. It's like press the power button 3 times and then press the record button to get to a clean HDMI. So annoying. I would have to do it with the touch screen while it's off. Anyways, HDMI out is now working. I've got it set to never power off, and I've got a USB cable and the HDMI out, and it's working. This capture card doesn't have audio, so I can't actually use the microphone on it, but it's still better than it was. I think this AverMedia camera for $2-3 still, I think this looks better than the GoPro, which is crazy. Yeah, but Panasonic G85 with a $1,000 lens on it. This is definitely the best looking camera. And I have this other Panasonic G7. I've got just a kit lens on it for my overhead. You can see it gets darker when I zoom in. That's kind of the, you know, that still sucks, but the flexibility of zooming in and out in general is kind of essential there. Oh yeah, I'll show you the QR code thing, just in case anyone has a GoPro. If you're on what do you call this? If you're on an M1 Mac, you can open up this iPhone iOS app on here, and you just point the camera at the thing. But it's got like all of the settings. I could probably fix the colors using this ProTune thing, but I haven't explored that yet. But yeah, it's kind of neat. And so like if you have a bunch of cameras, it's so much quicker to set them up by just like, you can print this out and just point it at, or if you have a bunch of different settings, just point the camera at it. You'll see a little check mark on the screen in the back, and it will change all the settings to that. It's actually really cool. I wish they made this more well-known to GoPro users, but it was like, had to have this thing for a year and look up some specific problem. Like, what was it? Oh yeah, like the clean HDMI out. You can't get clean HDMI out without this app and without the beta firmware, because they put this thing in the extras page. I don't know. So GoPro finally kind of working as I expected it to from the start, but it's taken like a year to get to that point. It's so frustrating. I don't want to spend any more money or effort on it, but I think it might actually be reliable as of today. Yeah, the iPhone continuity camera, we use that a bunch in the streams. It will kill your battery very quickly though. And I also had an issue where I think my internet at home, the wired internet, disconnected, and my computer connected to the phone. And then I used up all my data within an hour. So yeah, anyways. What cans are running today? These are Sennheiser Openbacks. Yeah, they are... HD6XX from it was Mass Drop. Now it's called just drop.com, I think. Something like that. They're basically the, what is it? Basically, HD 650 or 600, something like that. Let's see if they're still here. I've had these quite a while. They're okay. I prefer my my Verum ones because they're just much nicer headphones. Even though they're heavier, they are more comfortable, and it's like having speakers on your ears, which is so nice. But yeah, I mean, these are solid. These were like my best headphones for quite a while. They were some of like the most expensive headphones. But yeah, they're just a little disappointing. The cable's cheap. They're not that comfortable. They're all plastic, but they sound okay, really. They're sort of like a standard kind of like beginner mastering quality, like low level audiophile sort of quality. They're okay, but I don't love them. They were a little disappointed. But the cable broke on my Verum ones. I'm waiting for them to a new cable to arrive from Ukraine. Obviously, there's a war going on, so it's going to take a while. But I checked the mailbox this morning. I was really hoping that I'd have a cable there, but oh well. Have I seen Tycho's Reaper special keyboard from close up? No, I talked to him. He showed it to me like before that video. He was just I think he had just got it and it was starting to set it up. I don't think it's really that special. It's just like a what do you call it? It's just a macro pad like this one, I believe. I should get this set up again. Diablo 4 came out and I ended up using that as my as a keyboard replacement for playing Diablo. And then I got over Diablo and I never got back to using it on my Mac. But yeah, I think the thing he bought is just like 128 key grid layout, but any key can be assigned to anything. And it probably uses the same software for setting it up. What's that software called? It's some crap. It was not great. It kind of works, but it kind of doesn't. VIA. It probably uses VIA for configuring. Yeah. If I'll plug this in, I guess. Actually, no, I'm not. It doesn't matter. I don't have to do this. Sorry. Have I tried Beyerdynamic? I never tried Beyerdynamic headphones. I think I have had one pair on once. And they seemed fine. I would probably get Beyerdynamic if I was to buy more headphones. The brand Ultrasone I was also very interested in. Yeah, I don't know. Beyerdynamic just wasn't like at the stores when I would buy them or anything like that. I would get the DT 770s or there's an open back pair or something like that. Is this? can't remember if this company, if Drop has Beyer. They also have Beyerdynamic headphones. So this is like a group buy company. You can get like the 990s as a group buy. Actually, these might be like available anytime, but they usually would do special drops where they like have a sort of a minimum purchase amount, and the more people that sign up will get a bigger discount. So I don't know if they're still doing that, but they used to. They do a lot of keyboard things now, but originally I think they were pretty much just headphones. I don't know. That's how I found out about them. Because their version of the Sennheiser headphones were much cheaper than the actual Sennheisers. Diablo 3 was okay. It changed a lot after release. What you play now is totally different than original release version of Diablo 3. I haven't played Diablo 4 in quite a while. Like I said earlier, I've only been playing 7 Days to Die. I started a new so I was sick and my son was sick with COVID, and so we had a week where we were just like, once we could get out of bed, we would just play it like all day. And so, which is a zombie first-person shooter survival crafting game. And every 7 days there's a horde that would comes at 10 p.m. And it's just fun to kill zombies and loot. And there's also a overhaul mod. There's a really great modding community for that game. And so there's a Wild West mod, which has great like hot air balloons for navigating the huge map and stuff. There's Wild West themed zombies as well, which is pretty fun. So I've still been playing that a lot. The Zoom H1, 4, and 6 essential line is looking really nice. Yes, definitely you should have some sort of a field recorder if you don't have one. They're so useful. And yeah, the H4 Essential or even the H1 Essential, I think it's cheaper than their other ones, and it's 32-bit float. They look very cool. Let's have a look at that. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last stream. I think I had it on my list, but I never showed it. So I think they're kind of plasticky cases, but nice screens, all the essential controls, 32-bit float recording, built-in microphones. So one of the downsides of like the F3 that I have is it doesn't have built-in microphones. So you kind of have to build out this kit, mic stand, you need cables, you need a pair of mics and shock mounts and wind protection and all that stuff. And like with these handheld field recorders that have the built-in mics, you can do so much without any external equipment. Bring some headphones, maybe if you want to listen to it, but because you can't clip really, there's not really any need to either. Yeah, technically you don't have to monitor as you're recording. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been happy with all the different Zooms that I've gotten, with the exception of the H5, which had that terrible rubber coating that I've complained about probably in every stream. But yeah, these don't have that rubber. I would definitely get that if I didn't already have an F3 that's less than a year old and an H5 that still works. How much time do you spend on average for a song? For me, it's between 5 minutes and infinity, mostly unfinished songs. It really depends on the type of project. So like the demo thing that I showed earlier today, I don't know, was maybe 2 hours, and like I've sort of run out of things to do in it. But like it's good enough. I'm not gonna really finish it. I'm not gonna release this as a single or anything. So I don't feel anything about it really. But like, I don't know, if I was like a proper artist, I would expect to put in at least 24 hours of work from writing the song to mastering. You know, that includes however many times you have to re-record it. Pre-production, mixing, mastering, all that stuff. So I feel like that's sort of like the rule of thumb if you're working on an album. 24 hours of work per song is kind of standard, I think. Maybe more, maybe less. If you spend more on pre-production, and you can set everything up and kind of track everything in a weekend, batch track all the drums, all the bass, all the guitars, do all the vocals. Yeah, sort of like the time gets reduced sometimes in some areas for the more songs you have. But I'm always confused why some people take like years to finish something. They will like, I don't know, they'll spend like 6 weeks just mixing. Where for me, I don't want to spend more than like 4 hours on a mix. Custom splash screen, yeah, it's pretty good. The second track that I wrote the other day, this was January 29th. Let's see. It was recorded between 12:46 and 1:22. I don't even remember this, but I know it's worse. What was the price of the Zoom recorders? €129 for the cheapest one, $391. I think probably what? Oh, let's try Sweetwater. So the H1N is 119. The H1 Essential is 99. So 169 with a bundle of, what is that, batteries, rechargeable batteries, and a SD card. I think that's a very fair price for something that's as small. Like this is small. This is like smaller than your phone. So you can kind of keep it in your pocket at any time and have a decent quality recorder. Okay, so this, I don't have any external hardware. I do. I did not write down what preset I was using for this, but we'll see. So I expect this will be terrible quality. I don't remember it. Yeah, that's terrible. But this was like an hour, including like making sounds on the synth, on the hardware synth. And I don't know, finding drum samples. You could definitely go faster than that. Like this is probably a 10-minute project if I knew exactly what I was going to do. But took me an hour. Somebody said producer for Neo finishes songs in about 5 hours. Yeah, so definitely, like, if you're making songs every day, you're gonna get faster at it. You're gonna find shortcuts, or just like, you know, find the things that you like faster. And yeah, it all comes together faster. But if you are out of practice, if you don't know what you're doing, if you are just not inspired, it's gonna take longer. But it's definitely a skill you can practice. But you have to be prepared to, like, throw things away if they're not working. There's lots of people on YouTube showing beat making stuff, and most of them are done in a day, I'm sure, including all the filming and stuff. So this one called Cosmos. I've played this a couple times before, I think. And this one, I think I did it on stream. I don't know. Like, if we're making a song on stream, I'm not usually spending more than an hour because I get bored of it or something. Have I seen the MIDI editor tool thing? The script looks great. I don't think so. Is it called MIDI editor tool? Multi-tool? I don't think I have used that, if that's it. The FL Studio speedruns are pretty funny. All right, so often if I'm, like, writing something, I'll just have, like, the start of the session be sort of like a place where I just kind of dump ideas. And it kind of looks like I changed tempo in this project. Anyways, so, like, the starting point was probably I'll just so I probably, like, found that sound and liked it, and that ended up being sort of the basis of it. So after that, probably added chords. Right? And then maybe added this other synth. And I have a kick made from a synth, so that was added, and it was also sidechaining the chords. So we've got these 4 sounds. So the reverb is doing some pretty heavy lifting on this project. And then I've got this like pulse sound. So kind of replacing the hi-hat. And then this sound here. Sort of a bass line, I guess. And then I got this sound. Sort of, not really a solo, but like a melody, something I played in over top of that. So like, I think essentially this section and this section are the same, or they started out the same. And then it was just a matter of arranging these in a way that made sense. So here's how that sounds. So it's like, it's pretty basic, but it kind of like, it builds, it has a certain flow that I like. I could spend a lot longer on mixing and mastering it, but it's, you know, it's like 95% there. Like I could think of other things to do with it, but also I'm not too precious about this. I don't feel like I need to release this. This isn't musical expression for me. Like this doesn't feel like, I like it, but it's not like I need people to hear it either. So yeah, I like, this was just a fun sort of afternoon project, and I'm happy I did it, but I don't care if anyone hears it. Steven, you were asking, do I have this full version of Analog Lab? Yes, I do. So if you have that, the sound was called, I don't know what the sound was called, actually. ARP and Lead, I guess it was called. And Synthwave Split and Deep Strings and Dark Real Strings. That's basically it, I guess. This sound was also, I froze that one for some reason. I don't remember why I froze that one. I think I may have needed to adjust the timing of it or something. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't consider myself an artist. Like, I don't really make art. I experiment with music. I have fun doing it. It's a hobby, but I'm not an artist that I don't care if I'm rich and famous and people know my music. Do I post my original music somewhere? I used to, but I don't anymore. I used to have it up on like MySpace, and I probably have some on SoundCloud still. I don't know. But basically, I make songs to demonstrate techniques in music production, essentially. And that's good enough for me. Music to weigh decisions to. I think organization helps, like having effects chains and regular use samples can help. Having effects like reverb and delay set up already going into a project. Yeah, having a default template that has sounds that are inspiring to you, sounds that work well together, that definitely saves time. But it's not essential. But yeah, like, you know, you could spend some time setting up a session for making hard rock, or a session for making gent music, a session for making some variant of EDM, and just have like kind of all the sound design, all of this, the tone searching done, and it's just a matter of putting in the notes. You know, even having like some drum patterns set up in the project already could be helpful. Having sidechain routing done for you. These are things that, if it's done already, it takes away that sort of technical issue, the switching between the left brain and right brain, and hopefully can get that musical idea out quicker. But I don't think it's essential to do that. Sometimes going off on a tangent to solve some problem or develop some new technique is actually more interesting for me than actually like getting the song made. I don't know. I think I had some other recent songs. I just can't find them. I don't know what I called them. Called something groovy 80s. One of my favorite themes. I'm using a variation of the Reaper 7 theme right now. I really like Reaper Tip's theme. I think that's one of the best ones right now. But I don't go too far away from the default Reaper 7 right now. All right, so I didn't keep track of what preset I was using on the hardware effects, so we'll see if this works, but I'll tweak it if not. The splash screen. Okay, the explanation of the splash screen. Somebody posted on the Reaper forum some AI-generated Reaper splash screens, and someone was saying, like, you know, don't use AI art because it takes work away from real artists and things like that. So somebody else did that the MS Paint Reaper logo thing, and posted that. I'm like, instantly I fell in love with it, and like I just started using that from that point on. It's dumb. Like, you don't need a Reaper splash screen. I don't care if it's AI art or not, but it kind of gives me a little giggle every time I load a project, and I like that. And you guys seem to like it as well. So, all right. I'm gonna play this and figure out what my reverbs were for this. think that's what I had. This is the one I made on the last stream, I think. Yeah, I mean, another meh project. I don't feel anything from it. I called this one Bad Grandmas when I shared it before. But yeah, I just got this image of like some like bank robbing grandmas, or like convenience store robbing grandmas. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not very good. I don't care. Let's talk about a new Reaper script. This came from a feature request I put out in 2016. And I said, Reaper is literally unusable and unprofessional without this. So when you export a project in Reaper, you're supposed to get this notification in the top right corner. And there's no sound that accompanies that. So like if you walk away and you're not watching the screen constantly, you might not know when your render is complete. So I asked for like a sound to accompany this. And so I've got the sound, and this is a sound that Kako's made, and you can find it at the end of Kenny's videos. Let's check the volume. It should be like this. I didn't hear it. I don't know why that sound's not coming through. Could you hear it? There's no sound. It could just be Dropbox being stupid. Okay, well, I'll play it from desktop. Where is it? There. I think that came through. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's Justin or Schwa making a sound, right? It's at the end of Kenny's videos. So that's where I got the sound. Like when render is complete, do a rooster sound. That was the feature request. So let's set that up. So, oh yeah, let's go back to the Reaper forum. So I posted this request, and then years go by, and then Mio Ada Mesbatine created a script for it. So we click through here, and the script is called Play Sound When Rendering Finishes and Choose Sound for Play Sound When Rendering Finishes, right? So you want to set this up in your startup script so that when a render is done, it will play a sound. So we've got the sound, we've got the script. You install this through here. There's the repack link for that. So I've got this in my repack, and so this will be render complete. Now render play sound. There it is. Play sound when rendering finishes. If we just run this, choose sound for play, run, and I've got this in my sound here. Actually, let's choose a different one.
Amaze balls.
So this is my friend Ryan.
Amaze balls.
And so when this project renders, and I'll render this section. I'll render, and time selection, render this file. Oh, it has to be an online render. I'll do offline. We'll have no reverb, but we'll render it. And it, oh, I didn't run this. Forgot to run the action. You need to run the script. I forgot to run the script. Let's try that again. We'll just render this and replace that.
Amaze balls.
And there we go. Now I've got a sound that plays when I render a song. So I do need to add this. I'm gonna, I guess, copy command ID. I'm gonna find my startup action. Custom startup. Actually, I guess I didn't need to. I'm gonna edit, and we'll find that play sound. When rendering finishes, we'll just add that in there along with my other. So this is what runs at Reaper system startup. It's going to load a track view, change the transport background according to Ripple state, global sampler, and play sound. Cool. So now every time I render, it's going to say amaze balls. And if I want to change that to the Kakos rooster sound, let's do that. Let's run that. It'll ask me for a sound. I'll change that to the Kakos blah render. All right. So yeah, that's pretty fun. I'm glad that I asked for that back in 2016. I think it just adds some fun to the Reaper project, right? Hopefully this stream's not freezing, but I mean it's possible. You don't have that script. You would need to get grab the what's it called? Ultraschall API. So I will put a link to this here. So there's a link to get to the feature request. Click through on this post, and then you can get to this page, copy this link, and add it to Reaper's API. All right, I'm ready for your really important feature request. And I'm going to set up amplitube. So I got a new guitar pedal recently, and let's use the default settings, I guess. Got the baritone here today. Actually, gotta bring this over. Oh, almost knocked over a glass of water. So, baritone, yep. And so the pedal I got recently, hopefully you can see that. That's the Boss TR2 Tremolo, and it's another great Boss pedal. Not that they're all great. There's a couple Boss pedals that I have that are considered like classic must-haves on every pedal boards sort of thing. The DD7 or the RV6. I don't like either of those. I'm just tuning. Where's my picks? So, Flint looks nice. The Flint is a very nice pedal. Also a tremolo. My last 3 pedals that I've bought, have all been tremolo pedals. But the TR2, it's just like instantly usable on pretty much any setting. And what I like about it particularly is that the, I guess it's probably too far away for you to see and a bit too dark. But there's the wave shape control, which will go between different, like a sine wave or a triangle wave and a square wave. So, square wave or triangle wave. My Flint and my Nightwire tremolos do not have like a continuously variable shape control. They've got just sort of like different modes. I'm just going to put a bit more reverb in amplitube. I'll just use one of the digital reverbs. Do you want me to get the camera closer? I think I can do that. Might have to flip you upside down. Hold on. There we go. Gotta be careful not to knock over stuff. More light would be good too. Actually haven't tried it before the overdrive. That would probably be similar to like the volume swell. Yeah, I have a MIDI Verb 3. I was using that on all the demo projects earlier today. That's my drum reverb right now. Yeah. So, Boss Tremolo. I think it's like easily one of the best pedals that they make. Along with the Super Overdrive. I really love that one as well. This guitar's a bit noisy. The other, it's a G sharp, TC G sharp. It's pretty similar to M350. I don't really remember what the differences are. It has like chorus and vibrato, tremolo, phaser, like modulation effects and delay on one side, and then a bunch of different reverbs on the other side. It's MIDI controllable, parallel or series effects. Pretty solid. Like, plugins sound better, but it's kind of... I feel like just instantly sort of has a vibe. It has like it adds motion to your playing, which is really nice. And I really like the color scheme as well. Anyway, plug in the Flint. The Flint is much more expensive. Hang on. Oh. Maybe I should enable the auto rotation. Davi's here. So harmonic tremolo sort of has like a filter LFO in it as well. Almost like a wah along with the tremolo. This is the 63 tube. And this is the photo 65 photo mode, which is more choppy on off sort of, almost square wave. So anyways, the Flint is very nice as well, I have to say. It's a little less flexible, but it does include a very nice reverb. It's also like a stereo effect, so there's lots of reasons why it is more expensive. But I almost feel like the Boss Tremolo is just a little nicer overall. Like, it's simple, kind of has a sound, it makes you slow down when you play. It's nice. Anyway. How's everyone doing? Do I run all pedals in mono or stereo? It really depends on what I'm doing. Generally it's mono all the way through. Unless the pedal is kind of the last thing in the chain, because I'm always running a mono amp. I don't know, just recently these tremolo pedals make me want to just play guitar more. So I've been really enjoying them. Rick, I'll do stereo if it's if I'm running drums through or synths through. But if it's just guitar, usually not stereo. I should actually experiment with that a bit more, but if I'm doing stereo in, I'm doing stereo out. But if I'm doing mono in, it's mono out. It's just sort of a, you know, rule of thumb, I guess. I don't know. Or just the way I think about it. I did a video a while ago on mid-side for guitar pedals, and that was kind of fun. I think I did the Rat plus, maybe it was the Big Muff? Or something else. Maybe it was the Rat and the Tube Screamer with drums. Because if you only have mono pedals, if you process it in mid-side, you can get a lot more out of them. I'm going to switch back to the Boss. I think it's these amp settings are kind of bothering me. So in amplitube, this is just like the default preset, but what I generally do is like put all the stuff at 6 and turn down the preamp volume, turn up the master. So I'm using more of the power tube saturation. And then just bring this up a bit and turn down the master output. I'll probably change out the cabinet as well. It makes a huge difference. Get rid of this reverb. Feel free to ask questions. I'm not just here to like show off or whatever, but you know, if you have Reaper questions or music production questions, pedal board questions would be a great time. Yeah, but we're just gonna hang out otherwise. I don't know how to play songs. That's the thing. I can play like riffs sometimes, but it's almost all improvised. I gotta fix that volume pot on this guitar. That's the Squire quality right there. I don't think the Oxit will be as good as just replacing it. It's not old. It's not rusty yet. That's the thing. Like, this guitar is only a year old, and that sound happened like almost immediately. So I can plug in an octave pedal. Yeah, one sec. I know exactly where it is. So I've got the octave after the super overdrive, and I've got all the knobs straight up. I'll just do the octave 1. This one's pretty glitchy. The newer octave pedals are better, but I kind of like the glitches in a way. Ignore this Flint. Flint's not plugged in. All right, I'll put it before the distortion. That sounds much better. That's a pretty cool sound. My pedals constantly change. I've got too many pedals to fit on the board, and like I play too many different styles to like just decide on something. So like, other than the tuner, everything else changes. I'm just trying to get the drum machine to come through. I'm not sure why it's not coming through. The wrong input. Monitor input. What am I missing? Oh, master section. Turn down. Probably be better if you could see this. So the tempo of this controls the tempo of the Behringer drum machine and the Yamaha drum machine. Yeah, that's what I do for fun. Is that an art preamp? I do have an art preamp and a art tube compressor. I do have old Zoom pedals. I don't have good gear. I've got like lots of like crappy old gear. No hi-fi stuff. Yeah, well, Beans has decided not to sleep in his comfy bed and now is sleeping on the hardwood of the bookshelf because I bothered him. I should probably check my notes, see if there's something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. Is the green thing a TB303? It is a RD6, so like the TR606. This is the Squire baritone that came out like a year ago. I've got a custom pickguard on it, but it needs some like electronics swaps. It needs less noisy pickups. I've got samples of the RD6 up on the Patreon and YouTube membership, if you're interested. But it's basically a 606 clone. Pretty simple to use. Has a built-in distortion, which is nice. I like syncing MIDI clock from the sequencer of the Behringer Poly D to this, and then this is sending out through the through port to the Yamaha RX-17. And the other thing that was on my list to talk about is over here. It's VCR. I got a VCR to do audio mangling. Totally forgot about it. It's actually... I don't know if we should do that right now. I put up some samples on the Discord, but it might be fun to play with that in real time as well. I don't have a great setup for feeding audio into it and out of it. But yeah, it definitely sounds kind of messed up and weird. Texture was good. Texture? I don't know what you mean. All right, okay, we're done with that. Oh, I hear the modulation of the synth. Okay, yeah, I'll record something into the VCR and then play it back. I think that's how we have to do it. I guess I'll do it like that. So aux send out from the mixer will go out to the VCR and then come back on channel 2. So hopefully you can, maybe we'll move the camera. What do you want to see, the mixer or the VCR? There's nothing really to see on the VCR, I don't think. Synth. Sure. I think that'll work. We'll hit record. Actually, don't know if that's going through. I've got so many broken cables these days. It sucks. And the drum machine is on this one. It's coming back louder if I turn up channel 2, so I think it is coming through. All right, I'll hit stop and then stop that and stop that. Rewind. Stay. Okay, turn that off. Then I need to turn up this so we can hear it. And if I play that, lots of self noise. I may have done it wrong. Oh, there it is. I must have had the wrong channel for the synth come through, but there's the drums. Anyways. And that's all I got. So it's not a science. It's hard to tell where the beginning and end of the recording is going to be. And you got to remember to turn up the right channel of the for the synth. There we go. So it is monitoring through the VCR. So the synth is going to the mixer, then to the VCR, then back to the mixer. And that's why when I turn up the send, it gets louder. Yeah. I'll just turn down the channel. And then play that again. Let's record that. Stop, rewind. I could use Reaper to drop the noise floor, but it's all noise. This thing's got a lot of noise. All right, so I'll turn down the sends. I'll turn up the playback. It's so mangled. That sounds like bad cables. I don't know. Am I sending it too low a signal? Or is it just really that much self-noise there? It's so noisy. I don't know what to do with it, honestly. It's too unpredictable and too noisy to really do much with, I think. What do you think? Is that something you would use in a production? The because there's like tape stretch and pitch drift and stuff like that, you can't make a like a NAM profile of it. And if you remove the noise, it's like removing most of the sound of it. It's kind of interesting, but also not great. For an effect, yeah. I wish it wasn't mono as well. So this is like a standard VCR. If you can get a Super VHS recorder, then it's stereo and it's like 16-bit CD quality essentially, but on a tape. But this is, it's honestly lower quality than I expected. Like VHS quality, like audio quality is like a meme, like an effect. But then it actually is really bad. So yeah, it's difficult. And like you can't even like record something for just the left channel and then record something on the right channel and then combine them in editing, because there's the drift of the tape stretching or power fluctuations or whatever. Like the old equipment is going to make that difficult to sync up. But maybe that inaccuracy, I guess, of the stereo channels would actually make it more interesting. But if I could like I need like a more professional VHS player, recorder, one that can like go back to a certain time position very easily. This one, you can kind of return, you can set the clock and return to 0, but it's kind of inaccurate. And like when you put a tape in, you don't know like how much lead up is before the recorded spot or the recordable content. I don't know what I'm saying. And this was a brand new blank tape as well. So you would think that you would get pretty good quality, but this was set to, when is this from? I don't see a year on this box. But this is on the slow speed. No, fast speed? It's on the fast speed, so it should be like higher quality. But yeah. There isn't a year on it. Anyway. They're, let's go on eBay. Get something like this. Professional quality. It's got VU meters even. They look cool as hell. I don't know. It's pretty cool, isn't it? You can even set the audio metering or monitoring. Look at those connections. XLR? It's crazy. Yeah, but that's $200 US plus another basically 100 shipping. So and that's a cheap one. Like there's this one for 850. Yeah, which has its own control surface. But yeah, you gotta pay a lot for good quality VHS. And that might be missing the point of getting an old VCR, possibly. I don't know. And there's no guarantee that this even like sounds significantly better. But at least it'll be in stereo. Could still sound broken for professional use only. Nice. Stream just got a tape effect. Yeah. Tape effect like this. It's basically this, but for audio, right? Can I just copy the filters? No, why? Filters. I can't copy all the filters at once. There we go. Much better. Yeah, so this quality for audio, that's what we need. Some of the filters for OBS are pretty crazy. This one's just called VHS shader. How's this one? This one's called Drunk. Yeah, kind of weird. How's that? That's comfortable to watch for long term? I'm going to forget that this is turned on. This texture or this filter is called Doodle. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool effect. Adds lots of dynamic motion to it. This is cell shaded. Reminds me, I heard they're doing a Borderlands film. It's probably gonna be really terrible. Yes, Game Boy camera. That's a good one. That looks perfect. Let's get some music. It's called Matrix Effect. What are we even doing today? Like, what is this stream? I don't notice a difference on that one. I'm on a soup can. That's a half tone. One's called shake, but I don't see it shaking. I don't see any effect. Ah, that's a good one. Whenever I select the plugin for a track, it opens automatically. I want it to not open after selecting plugin from effects browser. Is there a workaround? Yeah, what's that called? That's going to be under the plugins. Automatically not resize. Auto open effects window after quick add. I think that's the one. Or possibly this one. It's one of those things. Ah, that's much better. That's a good one. How to vomit during a live stream? Yeah, not supposed to vomit. That's against terms of service. Yeah, these shader plugins are pretty cool. This one's called VHS. There's another one called VCR. That's kind of cool too. We should probably wrap up because we're not doing anything important anymore. And I have to make lunch, eat lunch, and then prepare for a private lesson. So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I will kill the effect. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. It's been a lot of fun. This stream's not sponsored, so if you like what I'm doing and you want to help out, you want to see me continue doing streams, you can sign up on Patreon or use the join button below the video to sign up for YouTube membership. You'll get some nice bonuses and you'll be able to help me keep doing this thing. Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. I should have a video out next week, and we'll do another stream at the end of March. So, yeah. Did I miss a question? I think I got the question. I think I got that question. Maybe... If I start a project, add a plugin, save the project, and when I come back after some time, the project loads without the plugins. I don't know about that one. It's probably a bug with that plugin. But Reaper should be able to save everything. Yeah, that's a weird one. All right. Well, later, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you next week.